Hello everyone, today I'm out on my Super Soco. I had a few questions from people about the uphill performance of the bike, and so today I'm going to take this for a run and go up some hills and give you my comments. So I'm going to be in mode 3 for most of my riding today, and I will try a couple of times in different modes, but except mode 1 doesn't really work up hills at all anyway. So at the moment I'm in mode 3 and I'm starting to go up a hill at the moment. This is quite long, it goes for about 3 kilometers straight up, and I've actually got more acceleration than I need in mode 3 for this hill. It's not particularly steep. The telemetry data will have the actual slope that I'm going up now, but it's not really a smooth road, so I can't go completely flat out. There are some sections of this where I'll actually accelerate fully, and we'll see how it goes, like here for example. So here it's pulling the whole way, and you can see the speed on the telemetry. I'm actually have to just slow down for the corner. So it's pulling quite well. Around the corners and then accelerating out, it pulls again out of these corners in mode 3, and it actually pulls out of the corner if I want it to, and it will actually accelerate up here as well, quite okay. So I'm just going to actually switch it now straight to mode 2. So now I'm in mode 2. Let's have a look. So here the actual throttle range, it's right near the full throttle position. So it has a very narrow band. So say 80% of the throttle is nothing, and then the last 10% is where you get your power when you're in mode 2. So here again, I can easily go up here and around this corner. I'm just slowing down. Let's see, come out of this corner and then accelerate out. So mode 2 is okay for this sort of slope. It's not particularly steep, and it does allow me to accelerate out of the corner. But what you have to keep in mind, and this is very, very important, the battery at the moment is 100% charged. So at 100% charge, it's maximum voltage. So you have maximum current, maximum voltage, so you get you will never get better performance out of the bike, and you know, when the battery's below 100%. So as the battery goes down, the voltage goes down, and you'll get less performance, less torque out of the motor. So when you first start off, you can do things like I'm doing now. So as we progress through this ride, the battery voltage will go down as I'm using the current, and then it'll be interesting. We'll do another comparison going up hills and checking out the acceleration loss once you reach a certain percentage of battery. So at the moment I'm still in mode 2 actually, and I'm still pulling out of these corners very nicely. I have no need at all for extra power on this type of road at the moment. So I guess if you're going on a straight uphill road, that's a bit different, you know, and you're trying to get 70 kilometers an hour out of the bike. I can actually tell you when I come home from work using this bike, there is a steep hill and it's a straight road, and the speed is around 50 kilometres an hour is the actual speed of the road, but most motorists do around 70 to 80. This will not do it. It'll do 50. It'll do the speed limit. I've had it up to 55, but that's about it. And that's with the battery at 60%. And in some degree, all electric bikes are like that. My Sur-Ron has a fantastic amount of power. I've upgraded the controller and battery on that. It's quite a dangerous bike actually, but there's still a difference when you're 100% charged to when you're 30 or 40% charged. Although with the Sur-Ron you don't notice it so much because it's a central drive bike. The motor's in the middle of the bike, whereas this is a hub motor, so it does make a difference. The weight, the centrifugal force and rotational mass of the hub motor does make a difference as far as creating enough torque to get the bike up and running, to get enough pull out of it when you're going up a hill. There's a bit of a gradient in mode 2. I'm actually flat out. I can't go any faster than this. A little bit quicker, but that's, I don't know. I'll look at the telemetry data. I think it was about 40. Here's another hill. This one's a little bit more steeper. This is flat out at the moment. Let's see if we can continue to accelerate. Yep, we're accelerating right up here. Yep, I'm doing 50 up here without any trouble at all. But it's a run-up. It's not instant acceleration to 50 kilometres an hour. That took probably 8 seconds or so to get up to that speed. Again, you can watch the telemetry data on the screen as you're watching the video. So at the moment here I'm not flat out on the throttle, I'm just feathering the throttle for the bends and corners. Here's another bit here, let's see, I'm flat out here. Absolutely can't, throttle is fully twisted. That's about it, 40 kilometres an hour for that stretch. So that's in mode 2. So as you can see, a reasonable gradient, 40 to 50, and it takes about 8 to 10 seconds to get up to that speed with the throttle fully open as far as it can go. So when we get to a next hill, I'm going to put it into mode 3 and then we'll see how it goes. I'm just on a bit of a downhill run here at the moment. Okay, I'm going to put it into mode 3 and we'll just get around this corner and then we'll test the acceleration here in mode 3. There we go. Okay, so I'm in mode 3 now, fully flat out. And it's accelerating a bit quicker. I'm up to 40 kilometres an hour now. Coming up, still accelerating. I'm flat out, I can't go any faster. This is uphill all the way. This is absolutely flat strap up here, and I'm doing 50, and 50 is about it. I can't go any faster in mode 3. That's it. That's as fast as it goes. I'm standing on the foot pegs because it's a bit bumpy up here. Yeah, that was it. I think it ended up 50 something. Yeah, we'll have a look at the telemetry data. But yeah, that's in mode 3. So I'm still in mode 3. I'll just put it back to mode 2 here while we're on a similar sloping road. Yeah, starting off is where you notice it the most. If I'm slow down here and accelerate, I'm flat out. That's it. There's absolutely no more. And it's just slowly getting more faster. I'll just try that again up here. So flat out now, I'm absolutely, the throttle is fully twisted open. And it's slowly creeping up. We're about 40 now. Yeah. Still at 40 kilometres an hour. This bit's very steep up here. I'm going to put it into mode 3. And let's try and start again. Stop. Or it's a little bit quicker, but it's slowly accelerating up. Here we go, 30, 30, 30, 30. Just have to slow down this hairpin bend here. I'll try that again in a second, just a moment. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Ready, flat out, go. I'm absolutely flat out. And it's continuing to go up. We're doing about 30 now. 30. It's quite reasonably steep here. Yeah, there's... to be honest, it's... to my feeling is that the difference between mode 2 and mode 3 when you're uphill is the initial starting. It seems to me that they both take almost the same amount of time to slowly creep up to speed. But say for the first, I don't know, 5 seconds, you're actually feeling more torque in mode 3. So from 0 to 5 seconds, it feels faster as it's pulling. But to actually get up to 40 or 50 kilometers an hour, it's very similar. Yeah, obviously there must be a slight difference because, you know, it's the mode 3 is a little bit quicker off the mark, but it soon runs out of that sort of torque. So yeah. And to be honest, you're really not going to get a lot better performance out of this configuration. So if you're wanting this bike to ride on uphill stretches, especially if they're long, and you want to ride the bike, you know, say for example you're using it to commute, to go to work with, and there's a lot of hills to go to work, and you're on like a normal road where you've got traffic and you're going at speed like 50 or 60, maybe 70 kilometers an hour, that's the speed limit, and you're wanting the Wanderer to go along up hills and along that speed to go to work, it's impossible. It won't do it. You would have to upgrade the controller and the battery to be able to get any good performance out of this bike for that sort of thing. So it's definitely not for that. Yeah, 100% it's not for that. I've got this set back to mode 2 again, and at low speed it's enough for these hills. I mean, I'm not going flat out here, I'm doing 20 or something like that, and here it's fine because there's, you know, narrow corners and again just feathering the throttle. There's a hairpin bend, so you know you have to decelerate for this and accelerate as you're going around, and I think mode 2 for this type of road is fine, and it's pulling enough. I mean, unless you're on an emergency on the way to the hospital or something like that, you're not going to really need that sort of power for this type of riding condition. Okay, we're just at the state border. Just going to stop here. Going along here, along a nice straight. Well, let's have a look at the top speed here, mode 3. Let's have a look. It's got a slight downhill. Well, it's easily 60 there. Just have to slow down for this. Let's try along here. Keep going. Just actually heavy braking for this corner. Downhill you could easily do 80, 85 kilometres an hour, no problem. You can actually do that in mode 2 as well. Because it's downhill and the bike freewheels, it's got nothing really to do with the controller controlling the motor, it's just rolling basically. Once you get it up to speed, you don't have to accelerate, it'll just continue to roll. Okay, we're back. We're on the return journey back. We've just had a really big rainstorm, so I've just been taking shelter. Better, yeah, 66%. Mode 3. Okay, so let's do a standing start. This is quite a steep hill. So I'm absolutely got the throttle fully open here. And sitting on 40. Let's go up here a bit more. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting much quicker than 40. Well, it's a little bit quicker here. So most of this is all the way up here. Acceleration's quite reasonable around this corner. And again, I'm flat out. That's enough for around here. This hill is about 4 kilometres up the ascent. It's a good test because you're braking and accelerating, which is, you know, what you want. Mode 3, definitely you've got a lot of torque. Well, a reasonable amount of torque when you're coming out of a corner up a hill. Okay, so it is reasonable acceleration at 66% battery. I'm just going to put it into mode 2 and we'll have a look. So here we go, mode 2. So acceleration reasonable, pulling around the corner. As I said, when your throttle is almost 90% open, between 90 to 100% you have a lot of control in mode 2. There's no response from 0 to 90 basically when you're pulling the throttle around. But mode 2 seems to be okay here. Let's see if it pulls out of this corner. It's not too bad. It's not as quick as mode 3, but it still pulls. And then we come to a downhill stent here, so it won't really make any difference. One thing I will tell you, when it's raining, the brakes are hopeless, especially the rear brake. Once you get water on that rear disc, be careful. It's unbelievably spongy, with absolutely no braking power at all. As you've seen by my previous videos, the rear brake is not the best even in good weather, so it's just even like maybe double or 3 times as bad in rainy weather. Basically non-existent. Let me pull my visor up here. Here we go, up a little bit of an uphill stretch now. We'll stay in mode 2. So I've got it absolutely flat out in mode 2 now. It's fully open, the throttle. It's sitting on 40. Let's see. It's not accelerating much over 40 up this hill. And yeah, it does have a bit of a pull out of the corner though. But yeah, there's just no continual speed. So mode 3 does still continue to pull a little bit up a hill, but not very much. Here we come back to a flat stretch here. Let me just test the back brake here. I'm squeezing that and it's barely slowing down, and I'm really squeezing it hard. Front brake, yes, front brake's not really good, but it's better than the rear brake. I think definitely what I said before, if this had braided brake hoses, I think that would make the world of difference with this. Absolutely the world of difference. I would almost say that this bike is dangerous in the wet as far as the braking point of view goes. I would be very, very careful. I mean, if you're only in city traffic, it doesn't matter, it's fine. But if you're out on a tour going down hills and things like that and it's raining and somebody pulls out on you or some animal runs across the road, you're going to have an accident for sure. These brakes just don't work in the wet. They really mucked up that rear disc. It's definitely too small. Needs to be at least 240mm, at least. Big size rear disc is what it really needs. Disc loader. It's hopeless. I think it's about 180. This is still in mode 2. It's pulling around here and up this little slope quite nicely. So gentle hills, it's fine. Even as you're getting lower in your battery, around 50%, it's still okay. It's only when the hill starts to steepen up a bit that you really do notice the lack of torque. This is a gentle slope, and yeah, mode 2 is fine. It's pulling up quite nicely up here. This kind of makes sense, you know, like you're going up a steep hill, of course you're going to need more torque. You're pulling your own weight plus the bike's weight up a steeper hill, so it's just physics. And the lower the battery voltage, the less power and torque you're going to have. Well, I can guarantee it won't be raining in this tunnel. The creepy tunnel. Okay, so this part here is downhill all the way, so we're not going to be using any battery or uphill performance around here. So. Okay, I think we'll wrap up today, so I'm just going to summarise. So basically, in the morning when we left, we had 100% battery charge, so uphill in mode 2 and 3, it pulled reasonably well. What I found is that mode 3 pulled off the mark more quicker from say 0 to 5 seconds, but both modes 1 and 2 took time to get to say 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. Both felt that they had torque coming out of corners, and mode 3 had more torque coming out of corners uphill than mode 2, but they were very similar. You could reach 50 kilometers an hour of speed. You would have no chance of getting near 65 or 70. I don't believe. From just doing it today, up a hill, I just don't believe that, even mode 3. However, battery charge now is around 50%, and it's definitely sluggish. Even downhill, when I'm just pull the accelerator flat on, the response is getting down. So in summary there, when your battery reaches 60% or below, it's going to have serious effect on your uphill capability. And then finally, one thing which I did find today because it rained is the batteries are absolutely, the rear brake is very dangerous in the wet. Be careful. That is my advice to you. Okay, I'm going to pull in here. There's a couple of bikes. We'll pull next to this Honda CB. And so I hope you could get something out of this today and learn a little bit about the performance of this bike up a hill, and with the difference between having the batteries fully charged and half charged, and modes 1 and 2 when you're riding up hills. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Okay, thank you.